We wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Hello and welcome to my garden and the dinosaurs who live there. We're on Friday the 29th of March. Can you believe it? That's March just about gone. I wanted to get in a garden tour this month, so I'm cutting it a bit fine, but here goes. Let me show you around the garden and let you see what it looks like in March. Okay, I'm looking up towards the top of the garden. It's very grey, very cloudy, and the garden itself is looking a bit grey just now, but I definitely am going to have lots and lots of colour in this garden in the coming weeks and months. That's the plan anyway. But I have done I've done loads up here compared to what it was like, let's say October time last year. So let me just have a quick run through what it's looking like up here. We'll hone in on certain things and hopefully you'll see a difference. So let's just walk up the garden, try not to slip because of course it's muddy, muddy, muddy. I've moved this lupin. It was down in the sort of where most of my raised beds are, and it has wintered absolutely brilliantly. This was one I bought and it's called Legendary Red Shades, and it gave me some lovely spires of flowers last year, and I'm hoping we're going to get the same this year. Lovely healthy looking plant. Let's go by the swing seat. Right, so anyone that's seen any of my earlier videos, sort of beginning of the year, will know that I moved these two raised beds. They were further up. I've brought them closer to where the swing seat is, and one of them has got some strawberries in. And we also have some sort of bulb growing. I'm not entirely sure what this is. It might be crocosmia, and if it is, it's getting pulled out. Because I'm trying to eliminate as much crocosmia as I can because it's very invasive in this garden. So yeah, so these are strawberry runners. So these are actually, this will be the first year fruiting, these ones. Then we have this bed here. Nothing in it at the moment. I hope to get some onions in here, I think, but I'm growing my onions from seed this year for the first time. Not really impressed with their rate of growth, but we'll see. But hopefully I'll get some onions in this bed. And then here, it's sort of difficult to see, but there actually is a little bed here that's delineated with some rotting logs. But the chickens have been in and they've kicked the the wood chips into the bed and some of the bed out into the wood chips. But never mind. So my most exciting purchase this year so far has been these two small apple trees, and I've got a video on me planting these and staking them. This is called Laxton's Superb, and this one here is a russet called Egremont Russet. They're both an M27 rootstock, which means that they'll only grow to about 6 or 8 feet tall, which is fine. I didn't want anything taller than that. And filling in the middle, we've got a little hebe. I thought since we've got a gap between the two apples, we'll have a little hebe in there to fill in the gap. And then I put some black plastic down. Don't judge me. We need to try and deal with this horrendous ivy somehow. So there's some black plastic down, and then I've got 5 pots there. I've still got the 3 middle ones are new. You can see the difference in colour. The other 2 are a couple of years old. I've still got to put the holes in these 2, but the original ones obviously still actually have holes. And I've actually moved one of my smaller hostas into this one. So I'm not quite sure what the variety is, unfortunately, but this is one of my, I think it was maybe new last year hostas. and it was in a smaller pot, so I've moved it here. It's in a bigger pot, and it's, even if it doesn't grow that big, it will keep the leaves out the way of chomping chickens. The other pots, or certainly the 3 middle ones, I'm going to put dahlias in. I might put a hosta in the one at the far end again, just for a bit of symmetry. And I've ordered some new dahlias because only one of mine has come through the winter. I've managed to let them rot. I'm scratching my head. Talk about that in another video. I've got trying to get them through without them rotting. Anyway. So yes, we'll get some dahlias in there. And then if I just look round, here we are at the good old beehive. Not any activity today. At the moment it's damp and it's cold, so the girls are staying in. We have seen some activity, so I know that there's plenty of bees in there. I've seen them out doing orientation flights, which basically means they come out and then they sort of fly circles, getting higher and higher and higher to familiarise themselves with where the hive is located, because these are newbies. These are bees that haven't been out before. So they do these orientation flights so that then they can start going away much further, up to 3 miles in fact, collecting pollen and water and nectar and bringing them back to the hive. I have enlarged the space here, and I'm going to put another stand in here because excuse me, there is a chance that I'll split this hive into 2 and get a second hive on the go this year. We'll see. A few questions, particularly around the demeanour. Oh, there's a girl come out. The demeanour of the bees in this hive, because they were a bit aggressive towards the end of last year, or overly defensive, let's say. And I'm not, we may have to do something to improve their demeanour before I decide to split. But anyway, that's again another story. So just over from the beehive, we've got this bed that I created a couple of months ago. Again, I'm just using rotting logs as a border, and this is going to be a perennial bed for perennial shrubs and perennial flowers. So we've got a variety of shrubs in here. We've got a hellebore, which already gave us flowers. We've got the viburnum, a pieris, a skimmia, and then at the front here is a a heucherella. Is a cross between a heuchera and a, I'm going to say a tigerella. That's not right. It's a cross. There's some, the reason we've got these cloches up is there's some irises that I sowed that are coming up in this bed, and I've put in some perennial flowers. So I've got 2 of these, which are the sort of daisies, Shasta daisies potentially. We've got 2 of these, which are geums, and then I've got this Sniffofia, or red hot poker. And the reason that they have got their little protective wire cages is because of the girls. I've no intention of putting a big barricade around this to keep the girls out completely. They quite like digging in this bed, and it's fine. They can dig in it, they can dust bathe in it, whatever, as long as they're not getting in the way of the plants. So the baby plants like these are protected. The bigger shrubs are fine. The girls aren't eating them, they're not scratching at them. So that's fine, because it's a garden for my use as well as the chickens' use. And then over here, this bed has been here. I think this was a Brassica bed last year, and I've got my own garlic, Casablanca. It might be Checkmate. Do you know, I think I've been calling this Casablanca for ages. It might be Checkmate. Oh, I need to look back. It's one of the 2. Anyway, it's my own homegrown, and these were from the seeds last year. Oh, there's a thistleweed. I'll need to get that. And then we've got Longor shallots, and in here also, and they're looking great. The reason I've got this on is just to keep the chickens off, of course. And then just looking further over, this used to be where my sweet pea teepee was, and this is now where my elephant garlic is. Again, got some protection on here, which is blown off. And then we can see 12 elephant garlic. Need to get in and do a little bit of weeding, but this is looking splendid. Next to the garlic and shallots, I've got my new sweet pea TP. It's not quite finished yet. I've still got the string to put round between the bamboo canes. But yeah, this is my sweet pea TP. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go and buy some plug plants or young sweet pea plants because mine were eaten by a mouse in the Polytunnel. And then I will have to put up a little barrier around here to stop the girls getting in and digging. But for now, I don't mind them digging in the bed. That's their favourite outdoor dust bathing hole. And next to that, I've got 3 poppies with the usual protection so the girls can't get in. And these are Oriental poppies rather than Californian poppies. So these are perennial, lovely scarlet poppies, hopefully. And then over here, as of last weekend, I put in my first early potatoes, which are Caledonian Pearl, and there's 9 pots of those. Compost, chicken manure pellets, bloodfish and bone, 2 or 3 seed potatoes in each pot depending on the size, and then topped up with compost. And next to that is a pot of perpetual spinach, which has been going all winter and is very happy. Probably a bit crowded in there actually, but it's great. I pick a few of these for the girls and I will start bringing it indoors to cook with as well. Oh, the sun's trying to come out. This is us looking down the garden. And in this bed here, we can see, if I just get my shadow out of the way, we can see that my peonies are coming back up. Those striking red stems. There's one there. And one there. And one there. I also popped in some bulbs just at this end of the bed, and you can see there's a few coming up. There's some tulips and some irises in here, I believe. The rest of the bed I will plant up with flowers as the year or the season progresses. Next to it, this bed had a variety, just a bit of a mishmash of flowers in there last year. In the centre there you can see the Aquilegia here, and then around it you can see I've got lots of bulbs coming up, and there's a variety of tulips and daffodils. There might be some irises in here as well, and maybe even some alliums, just a mishmash. And once they die back, I'll use this again for more flowers. First fail of the year. Is it the first fail other than the mouse eating all my seedlings? Is here. These 3 pots. Last October, I popped in some new garlic, Carcassonne, and not a one has appeared. Actually, am I seeing one? No. Not a one has appeared. I think they've all rotted. I've grown garlic in pots like this many, many times, so it's a bit of a surprise for me, I have to say. But 3 pots of Carcassonne garlic didn't come up. Looking on the bright side, I've got 3 pots that I can put things in without having to wait on the garlic to be harvested in June. So that's good. I might actually use these, put some little teepees up and use these for some sugar snap peas or Monge 2. I actually had in the one over there, I had Oregon Monge 2 last year, and they are gorgeous. So I've got some of those on the go. The first batch were eaten by a mouse in the Polytunnel, but I've got another batch on the go. So yeah, I'll maybe put some in here. And then this is my pot graveyard. Well, it's not really a graveyard, it's a holding area where there's various pots for growing potatoes and carrots, because I pretty much always do carrots in pots, and any other pots that I need, and also wire. This will go down because I'll be protecting a lot more, but this plastic coated wire is used extensively in the garden, and some other bits and pieces, so it's not looking particularly glorious. And then behind the shed there's wood and polycarbonate and stuff. That's my dumping ground there, I guess, although the rest of the garden could do with a tidy up as well. Looking down this long side here, there are a number of beds, impromptu beds set up last year, most of them. This one's new for this year. Again, I've just grabbed some of the copious quantities of rotting logs and I've made this into a bed. It's going to be a little herb bed. You can see that I've got my thyme in here already. It's looking a wee bit bedraggled coming through the winter. It was in a pot, but it's now in there. The cardboard is there just to keep the chickens off. And I have ordered, I think 4 or 5 little, I think probably 9 centimetre pots of different herbs, and they're going to go in here as well. Behind it, look at these primroses, aren't they gorgeous? I got these a few weeks ago because this was this had some daffodils in, and you can see there's a wee solitary one there, a little skinny daffodil that's come up, but the rest didn't. Yeah. And looking down, so I started to get these weeded. It needs a little bit more weeding. Again, all we have here are sort of wire hoops. And when I started them off, I just put cardboard down and then put compost on top of the cardboard, then put the wire hoops round. Look, early tulips. I can't remember whether these were here last year or they're new for this year. I think they're new for this year. Because I've put a few down the edge here. But aren't they lovely? Sort of orangey, peachy colour. In here there's some more daisies. Are these the frilled ones? I got these last year. Leucanthemum maximum starburst. So the other ones must be the frilly ones, the fluffy ones. So there's 3 in there, so hopefully they will give me some nice flowers. And then actually, this is just some, I actually took this clump out of, it was out of a pot actually, and I thought let's just let these bulbs flower, and then I'll get this sorted out again, and this will have some more homegrown flowers in. My plan is for most of these, maybe not that one, but I'll add to that one. The others, oh sorry, you probably can't see because of the sun, but these other ones, I'm growing all sorts of sort of cottagey garden type flowers, so calendulas and cosmos and cornflowers and nicotiana and probably a few other things besides, and I'm just going to put masses of them in these beds and hopefully get a nice colourful display. I should also get a nice colourful display in the triangular bed here. I planted all of these tulips last year. There's some alliums in as well. I don't know what's happened to the bit in the middle. I actually had a couple of little summer squash plants in there, so maybe I've sort of knackered the bulbs that were in there as well. But yeah, we should still get some nice tulips here. And I think my plan is that once the tulips have gone over, I'm going to use this for my winter squash. I'm not growing as many squash this year, and I'm doing a couple of different varieties to what I grew last year. I'll talk about that in a separate video. But yeah, initially we'll get the tulips and alliums hopefully. Then hopefully it's going to be squash. And if I just turn around as slowly as I can do, a couple of weekends ago, the squash bed, the squash bed from last year, has been repurposed, and I've built this bean support because I'm going to use this to grow some of my beans on. And because it's quite a deep bed, or sort of a deep bed that way, I mean, we're going to have a space at the front. So I've put this sort of scaffolding plank over so I can walk up there to access the beans. And then here I'm going to have some other stuff in, probably, I don't know, it just depends what's ready. It could be beetroot, it could be turnip, it could be sunflowers, you name it. I'm going to have a think what the best companion for these beans might be, and I'll sort of work on that premise, I think, and use this space for that. Just next to the triangular bed, I've reclaimed some of the ground here that is completely infested, probably the right word, infested with ivy. And my lovely husband, as part of my big birthday, which is imminent, got me these two birdies raised beds. Love them to bits. You can see what it looks like there. I've just got these little obelisk things out of the way in there just now. There's nothing in this bed yet. This bed one, though, I put some more strawberries. I seem to have loads of strawberries. And then under this fleece, I've started direct sowing. So in here we have, let me think, rocket, a row of chard, a row of lettuce, a row of pak choi, and another row of lettuce. So two different types of lettuce in there. And I've just put the fleece over to give it a little bit of protection, and also because we've got this rather wonky bird feeding station that I'm going to move, but at the moment the birds are there, and can you imagine if the seedlings come up there, the birds will have them eaten to kingdom come. Then here we've got the polytunnel. I'll do a separate video on the polytunnel, I think. But let's just walk up the side of the polytunnel to the last main area of the garden. As we go though, we have some more of the Longor shallots in a pot there. These were actually in the polytunnel through the winter. Need to get some flowers in here and some more longer shallots there. And a nice little pot of daffies. And then here we've got the raspberry canes. So left hand side is the autumn fruiting, and right hand side is the summer fruiting. So this is their second year. I just got a few raspberries off them last year because that was the first year in. We'll see how we get on this year. And then here's the area that I sort of built from nothing. Well, most of the stuff built from nothing, but I really had to do a lot of removal of weeds and rampant crocosmia and whatever to get the beds in here. The girls have been scratching, so the wood chip is a little bit dishevelled, but you'll get the idea. So this is one of the pea beds, and I had Hurst green shaft peas growing up this last year. They were scrummy, and I've got some more sown this year. This bed here was a strawberry bed last year, but I've moved the strawberries to, if I just swing round, I've moved them to here because, back round again, hope you're not dizzy, this bed actually is the bed that gets the least amount of sun in the whole place because of the run to a degree, although that's sort of see-through, but our big cypress tree there. So we get the sun rises over here, round there, and we'll lose it, and then it comes out again there. So this struggle, I don't say they struggled. We got strawberries again. It was their first year last year, but I figure I'll use this for stuff that doesn't mind getting a bit of shade. So whether I make it a brassica bed or probably more likely I'll have a variety of lettuces in here, because I can never grow enough lettuces with all the little hungry feathered folk around as well as myself. The chickens, the quail and myself all love lettuce. Something I'll need to do is tidy this. This really needs to have either some bark, or to be weeded, then have some bark or some chippings or whatever to neaten that up. I had a little row of plant pots in there last year and grew some flowers up there. This is a sorrel. This is a sorrel, and I might take that out of the pot and either put that in the new little herb bed, or maybe even just plonk it in the corner of this bed. I'll have a think. And this is a pot that was tulips, and these have been in here for ages, and these have all come up blind now, so I think they're past their best and may well be composted. Couple more strawberry plants from runners, and then the big old rhubarb that was here and is just great. I really need to take some of these out. Sticks of rhubarb ready. Yummy. And this wasn't forced, by the way, so this must be, I don't know what variety it is, but it must be one of the ones that is an early fruiter. And then here we have the original Brassica Cage, and I had really good success in here. I had Brussels sprouts, I had swede, I had some calabrese, and then we have this purple sprouting broccoli that's been in here for 11 months. There's 2 of them, they're huge. In fact, they're too tall for it. You can see the, the netting sticking up. But at last, you can see I'm getting some purple spears of broccoli. So there's quite, in fact, it's full of them. So hopefully I'm going to get a glut of purple sprouting broccoli shortly. Don't tell it, but I can't wait to cut this down and get my bed tidied. It's just been sitting here for 11 months. And it's sort of at a jaunty angle. But it's going to be worth it when I get these lovely purple broccoli spears. Yum, yum, yum. However, I'm not going to grow purple sprouting broccoli this year. I'm going to stick with calabrese type broccoli. All right. Then we turn here. This is the only original bed that was in the garden, and you can see that the sides of it have all collapsed. I have put some pipes, some hoops if you like there, and it's got a cover. I've just taken that cover off to let the girls in. I'll need to clean it now, but because it was growing some weeds, some what do you call it, is that cleavers on the go. So I've sort of scratched that out, and the girls have scratched that out as well. I'll close this back up again and we'll have some more brassicas in here. And I say we've got this Enviromesh to protect them. Okay, a couple more things and that'll do, I think, because I have been prattling on. Here's another pea bed, and I've freshened it up this year. It was like the one over there, which has sort of just metal poles and mesh. But actually, I got myself some 5-foot fence stabs, and I've had this. This is 16 gauge weld mesh that I use on the chicken runs and quail runs. So I've put some of that up, and that will give me another space for sowing some of the shorter varieties of peas, so Hurst grain shaft, for example. I do have some taller peas, and I'm wondering I might just grow them up a teepee, because I got myself, well, when I was building that bean structure, they're 8-foot canes, and I've got some 8-foot canes left, and I've got some large pots, so maybe I'll do that. Alderman, I think, yeah, alderman peas I have, and they grow quite tall, so I'll maybe put one pot with a teepee affair in there for the alderman peas. Where'll I put the pot? I'll find somewhere. I hope you've enjoyed this garden tour and hopefully can see a positive difference to the last time we had a tour. That was in January. I'll call a halt now. If you have enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Bye bye for now. Bye.